Things are really crazy with coronavirus right now. I don't know. I'm not sure what to say about that, but I feel like I need to acknowledge it, that that's going on. Hope everybody's doing okay. And yeah, just be smart and we can get through this. I've had a little time to kind of think about my seat repair project and learned a little bit more, and might need to redo a little bit. I'm not sure. So it's still up in the air a little bit. I'm waiting for my foam that I ordered, some stiffer foam, to repair the seat cushion part, and that should be here probably tomorrow. So I'm not gonna be finishing the seat this weekend. The nut sort of thing that I welded on, I'm not super happy with how that turned out, and I might end up redoing that. I'm not sure yet. But I ordered some weld nuts, which are special nuts for welding onto surfaces. Ordered those so that I could practice, and maybe I'll do a little bit of that this weekend. Another thing that I want to do is I want to clean this upholstery. It's dirty and it smells. So I need to, the seat base is detached, so that's off, but I need to take the seat back part the rest of the way off, and it's still held on, by this kind of wire thing that I looked at before. And what I did to take this part out, so this flap holds this wire. The wire runs through this little fabric flap here, and then there's another wire that's inside of the foam, and then these little rings, which are hog rings, connect these two wires together. So the way that I got this one out was I unbent the loop that's at the end of this, and it seems like that might not be the right way to do it. I think it'll work fine, but it seems like the right way to do this is to take these hog rings off and then to put new hog rings on when you put everything back together. Another thing to notice is this plastic, looks like a plastic bag. I think that's on there to help when you put the upholstery back on. So I might need to do something like that when I put it all back together. But back to the hog rings. These to get them out, you can cut them out with some diagonal cutters, or you can, I just started sort of prying them apart with these, with the vice grips and the diagonal cutters. And this is what they look like pried open. It just looks, it's a little piece of wire basically that's sharpened or sharp on both ends. Yeah, so I don't have any of these. So if I'm going to replace these with new ones, I need to order some, and there are some special pliers to use to put these on. And you know how much I love buying new tools, so that's kind of irresistible. I'm going to take these off, the ones that are holding this piece on here, the upholstery onto the foam, and then see if I can start cleaning these, the outside upholstery on the seats. I was just kind of thinking about how, I did some of the work on this seat, and then I went back to work during the week, and then I kind of think about it, and I'm not happy with how things turned out, or with the way I did something, or I find out that I didn't do it the right way, and you know, I'm not doing this kind of stuff for a living. This is enjoyment for me. And so I'm not really in a hurry to finish. And I enjoy doing things the right way. And not that there's necessarily one right way to do something, but I do take a lot of pleasure in finishing something and being happy with the way that I did each step of it. And you know, I think I'm a little detail oriented, like maybe overly detail oriented, depending on who you're talking to. And this kind of makes me think about somebody like Andrew Camarada, who probably a lot of people on YouTube are familiar with. I really, I guess I'm sort of envious of him that he's able to just blast through things, and he seems to do things like he doesn't get really caught up in the details of things. And I don't know, sometimes I'm kind of envious of people who are that way, but I don't think I'm not going to try to change myself to be like somebody else, even if I might admire those qualities that they have, you know, that I'm a certain way and I enjoy doing things a certain way. So I guess I'm just kind of thinking about, like, people like to do things different ways, and it doesn't mean that one way is the right way or the wrong way. As I'm getting this, hopefully this last, I think it's this last ring off here, I was just thinking about just like the enjoyment that I get out of doing this kind of project. And you know, that the tasks that are involved in something like this, like repairing this seat, they are like, some people are doing these for a living, so they're, you know, it's their work. And I'm not sure, I don't know if I'd want to do this like every day for my job, but I get a lot of enjoyment out of doing this kind of thing when I'm not at work. And I don't know, who knows, maybe I would like to do this for a living, but it makes me just think about my job and my feelings about it. I like working like this. I mean, I enjoy, I'm not the kind of person who likes, I don't get enjoyment out of sitting around. And, you know, I do have a bit of a problem not being able to relax, but it's not a topic for this video. Oh, okay, there's another row of these. I enjoy working, especially with my hands, and one of the biggest joys out of in this kind of project is being able to work and not have somebody else telling me what to do and that I'm not doing it right. That's one of the things that bothers me the most about my job, is just that. A lot of people yeah, I don't want to just start railing about my job, but I guess I envy people who really enjoy their job and get a lot of satisfaction out of it and some independence. And anyway, I think for me at least, it's important to have some work kind of type projects where I get to do them the way that I want to. It's good for my sanity. Yeah, so I'm not cutting these because I don't think I'm going to reuse them, but just with the way everything is right now with coronavirus and trying to get supplies, it's kind of like everything's up in the air. So figure I'll just unbend them and I can reuse them if I absolutely have to. All right. Okay, great. So now got the foam detached from the upholstery, and I'm gonna clean these. The smell is just terrible. Probably clean these in the sink, and then I'll have plenty of time to let them dry out. So that's the seat back. And the seat base. It's like, just think of how many years of farts there are in this fabric here. So it'll be nice to clean that out a little bit. After thinking about what I said a few minutes ago, I'd like to clarify. I am grateful for my job. I'm grateful that I have a job. I'm grateful that I have a steady job that is well paying and I have good benefits, especially in light of what's happening right now with coronavirus. I do think that over time, when you have a job that is not satisfying and well, I think there's a lot of damage that can happen to a person over time, I guess. And your job can be a source of that damage. So I was trying to figure out what size of these hog rings to order, and it looks like when you buy them, they're in sort of this bottom part is flat and then these ends are kind of pointed up. It's hard to get it back into the original shape, but measured this and it seems like it's about 3/4 of an inch. So that's the size I'm going to order, and I'll get some pliers and then I'll be able to put all this stuff back together. All right, odor remover was on there for about an hour. I'm going to hose it off with some warm water. Yeah, man, there's probably can't see it, but there's just disgusting brown water coming out of this thing. Yikes. You gotta see this. It really looks a lot better though, so that's kind of cool. Yep, seems like smell seems to be gone. Wow, okay, that is awesome. Feeling more hopeful about just getting the smell out of the truck generally after this, so it's awesome. Okay, so I got this cool little pressure sprayer thing, and in here I have the Full X carpet cleaner, diluted like, I don't know, 5 to 1 ish. So I'm gonna spray this on, and I haven't tried this yet. Let's see what this looks like. Oh yeah. Yeah, wow, this is awesome. A lot easier than squeezing that little trigger thing. Yeah, perfect. So I feel like that last cleaner did a pretty good job, but you know, since I have these covers off, it's like there's no reason for me not to just super clean this stuff. So I'm gonna go all out. I'm gonna really get that fart area. Oh, this is cool. You can angle it down so you can hold it level to get all the liquid out. See this? I mean, this is just like soil, like dirt, like topsoil coming out of this upholstery. And since my last video, I got a new welder. I got this fluxcore welder here, and this has been really fun. You know, when I was studying welding a while back, I was never really into MIG welding. I was mostly fascinated by TIG, and so that was what I focused on when I was taking the class. But for the stuff that I've been doing recently, I'm not doing any aluminum, and it's not really super fine work. This seems like it's going to be great. I've liked this stick machine. That's been good too. But for some of the thinner stuff, I think this fluxcore machine is going to be nice. You know, I did this nut on here and just really wasn't happy with it, and so I got some of these weld nuts, which are they're not galvanized, so it's nice you can weld them without worrying about the fumes. And so I just was doing a little practicing here with the fluxcore machine. I didn't clean this up afterwards, so there's a lot of little BBs on there, but this, you know, I felt like I was getting the hang of it on here, and these are attached pretty well. And you know, I'm not really, I don't like watching videos where I feel like the whole purpose of the video is to sell me something, and so I'm a little bit hesitant to kind of recommend certain brands or certain products. But you know, these welders are made by Forney, and they seem to be good quality. They've both worked well so far. I had to email them about a couple things, and so I had 2 email exchanges with people from the company, and you know, they're very responsive. And these are, you know, what I would consider to be inexpensive welders. You know, a few $100s. And I'm kind of amazed what you can get these days for such a low price. You know, when I was in welding class, probably 15 years ago, couldn't really imagine owning my own welder. And, you know, it's crazy what's available for not a whole lot of money these days. It seems like there's a lot of decent low-priced machines. So what I need to do next is I have these 2 wire spring grids here. The original one that's a little messed up, and then the new one that was not the right size that I adjusted. Put both of these on. We got the springs that are going to attach onto these, and then they go back to here. And these holes are messed up, so I'm going to drill some new holes near the existing ones, and then try to get these springs on. And that'll be it for this seat frame assembly here. And then I can move on to the foam, and I still need to wash the upholstery for the backrest portion. So a couple tools that are useful for this kind of thing. This is a spring-loaded punch that when you push it down, there's a spring inside, and it kind of snaps and makes impression. Usually I have to do that a few times, but it's a good way to get the drill started in the right place. And then this spring hook thing, could not get these springs on here without that tool, this tool. Still not super easy, but at least it's doable. There we go. Wow. Yeah, this is great. Okay, I think I'm going to start with the foam for the seat base. It looks like it was constructed from different pieces of foam that were glued together. So like right here, these are different colors, and it looks like a seam right here. So, you know, this just needs to be glued back together. Right here in the center, I'm not gonna be able to show, but it feels like it's almost compressed completely. So I'm thinking about adding a little bit of thickness right here. There's a hole right here. Fill that in if I can. And then this side over here is the biggest problem with the base. What I can't tell is if this was originally just glued on right there, or is there something else, you know, like it kind of looks like there was another piece of foam in here that now has disintegrated, and that needs to be filled in with some more. So I'm gonna try to do that with some foam that I bought. These are 2 pieces of foam that I ordered from the internet. This piece right here is, okay, I'm going to start off by saying I'm not an expert, but I did do a little bit of research into foam, and there are 2 major characteristics that are measured on foam. One is the density, and that I saw somewhere referred to as the quality. If it's really light and fluffy, that's not a dense foam. If it's heavy, that's a dense foam. That doesn't, it's not necessarily related to the firmness of the foam, which is another measurable quality of the foam. The firmness, which I saw referred to as ILD, and I think those are, it's an acronym, I can't remember what it's called, but it's basically what you set a certain, you set a weight on here, and you can measure how much the foam compresses when there's a certain size weight that's put on the foam. And so I ordered some foam. The first piece of foam that I bought that I sent back, it was, the ILD was 44. It was described as firm, but I don't think it was really firm. This is, the ILD on this foam is 70, and you know, it's like I can compress this really easily. This is 1 inch, a 1 inch thick piece of foam. It doesn't, you know, if I felt this, I wouldn't describe this as firm, but 70 is a firm foam. This is a different type of foam right here, and this is the third piece of foam that I ordered. This is, so I emailed the company that I ordered this from. They said, oh yeah, we usually use rebond foam for repairing vehicle seat foam. And I wasn't able to order any from them because they were closed for coronavirus. But I did find this piece of rebond foam on eBay that I was able to order. And if you look at it, it's, you know, it should be pretty obvious. It's little pieces of different kinds of foam that are glued together. And it's harder to compress this completely. Whereas, you know, this, I feel like I can just squash it down to nothing. So I don't know what the ILD on this foam is, but because it was just from eBay and they didn't list that measurement on there. So I need to decide what I'm going to use. I'm probably going to use this because it's firmer. The foam here, you know, this foam feels very firm to me. It's hard to tell, you know, I don't know what the ILD on this foam is, but the foam, the outside of it is kind of like molded, and I feel like there's like almost like a skin or crust on it that makes it stiffer. When I squeeze this, you know, like this bit right here, which is about 1 inch thick, it feels firmer to me than this does. I would say it's pretty similar to this, so I think I'm probably going to end up using this stuff. So I'm using this 3M94 low VOC, special California version. Probably doesn't work as well. This stuff isn't good for you. You know, I have my respirator. I can't find the right cartridges for it. And of course, you know, now there's not going to be any way to get something like that. I got the garage door open, so I'm not going to breathe it in any more than I need to. And you spray this stuff on, let it dry for a little bit, and then squeeze the pieces together. So I haven't used this yet. I'm gonna try it on here first. See if I can fix this crack. Seems like it's really working. Yeah. This is awesome. So I'm trying to figure out this side over here and like what happened and what needs to happen to get it back together. I cut a piece of that foam to fit in here, and then I had the idea that I should probably try this out on the frame, because I want it all to fit back together, and it's not super clear what, this is just really distorted from what it was originally. If you look on the other side, well, it's a little hard to tell, but basically it kind of goes in right here towards the center, and this is what's resting on the edge of the metal frame right there, this piece. Now, when you get in and out, this takes a beating right here. So, I put that piece in there, and that's really supporting this well. The one thing that's a little weird is this is kind of sticking out a little far, so I might put that in there, and then if I need to, I can trim this outside. The other point to note is on the top, we got this kind of breaking through here, but that piece that I cut out is right there. So I think if I glue all this together, and then I might glue some fabric on the top to kind of keep this together, I think it'll be pretty sturdy. So I was going to glue this piece over there and put glue in here. I think what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put it in place, and then I'm going to put the glue on, the adhesive, and then just hold it open, wait for it to dry, do one side, and then do the other side, because this stuff is so sticky. I just have this feeling if I'm going to try to put it down in there, it's going to go in halfway and then get stuck, and yeah, then it'll be expletive time. So let's try it this way and see how this works. Okay, this is coming along really well. Got this piece glued in, and top kind of joined back together. One thing, it takes a little while for this adhesive to get tacky, and you need to wait for it to get tacky before you push it together. So I remembered in these videos that I saw on this guy's channel, I can't remember what his name is right now, I'm sorry, but I will put a link in the description. This guy has these, he does this upholstery and foam repair for a living, and he has the cool YouTube channel that shows you how to do this kind of stuff. And so that's where, I don't know, I watched like a couple of his videos and kind of got the basic idea for how to do this. But anyway, I just remembered that he was using it's just like an air blower to speed up the drying process, and that totally works. At first I was standing here for like a few minutes waiting for this stuff to dry, and then we just hit it with this for 30 seconds or so, then it gets pretty tacky. So I'm working my way up this crack right here, and I'm going to kind of trim this down a little bit, and then I'll probably cut a piece to fit across here, because this is like, this actually looks like a defect in the when this was, I guess I'm assuming this is cast somehow in foam or molded or whatever, but there's sort of a cavity right here, so I'm just gonna put a piece in right there. I think that's kind of like the butt area, and I don't want that to be really thin. And to cut this foam, I'm just using just a serrated bread knife. Works okay. think I'm good on the foam right now for the repair for this piece. I might need to trim this off on the side here, just kind of bring that in. But I'm wondering if the fabric cover for this will sort of cinch that in. Now I'm going to do a little repair with fabric. There's this clip right here which holds the foam onto the frame, and you can see that the fabric is ripped. And I'm just, I have some fabric that I'm going to use for this. I'm going to glue this on here just to reinforce that. One thing to note, you know, this fabric that I have is some Cordura nylon, and it's coated. It has like a waterproof coating on one side. It's like a, you know, backpack type material. The adhesive doesn't seem to stick onto the coated side. So I did a little test here, and the uncoated, normally what would be the outside, that seems to stick okay. So I'm gonna glue this on like upside down basically, and reinforce this, and then maybe I'm ready to move to the back foam. All right, I think I'm done with the foam on the bottom part here. This patch went on great. This feels really strong, and I put another patch on the top to where there was this crack from one of the previous owners getting in and out of the truck. Still not sure about this side here, but I'll figure that out when I put everything back together. So yeah, I'm happy, really happy with how this turned out, and I think it's pretty robust now. Okay, onto the back foam. This, I don't know if it's going to be, it seems like it might be easier. I don't need to replace anything here. This is just cracked almost all the way around. There's cracks. And then this whole side is cracked. So I'm going to glue that back together, and then thinking about lining this channel here with fabric to reinforce it. All right, back is done. I put some of this fabric in here to reinforce this channel that, you know, this metal is a little sharp right here, so that probably encourages the cracking that was happening. So I think this reinforcement will help just kind of keep this together. So yeah, this piece is done. I don't know, maybe I need a little surface reinforcement on there. After this, it's just, I need to wash the upholstery for the back and let that dry out. Don't know how long that will take, but probably a little while, because there's, yeah, some foam on the inside of this. It's a little thick. So getting close. So I'm in the home stretch here. I gotta clean this upholstery from the seat back. It's in okay shape. Got a few holes and just some dirt, some stains on it, and the smell. So I'm gonna start with some odor, stain and odor eliminator. Spray this on here, and yeah, I'm gonna spray some of this stuff on, and then I'll work on the cleaning Okay, so I let that odor remover stay on there for a while. Now I'm gonna put this Folex upholstery cleaner in the sprayer. And I don't know, I mean, I read like 5 to 1, 10 to 1. I'm just putting some in here and then put some warm water in. Not super scientific, but okay, get this thing pressurized, and then let's see. I mean, this is like vinyl here, but it's really dirty. I'm wondering if this stuff will do anything on it. Okay, then I got one of these drill brush sets that everybody seems to use on YouTube. Try this out. Wow, yeah, this is kind of surprised, but it's working. Supposed to use a low speed. Getting a little really excited here. Probably can't see in the video, but there's a lot of like black like shoe marks on here, and it's coming off. Yeah, this is pretty impressive. Okay, this just looks so much better. I'm really surprised. I'm gonna do Folex on the rest of this, on the fabric part, and use the brush. This part's not too dirty here, but I'm gonna go over everything. And I'm curious about the stains on the front, to see if those will go away. So yeah, I did the back and the sides, and you know, they didn't look dirty really. I mean, but I know they are. But this front part there, these little black marks, it's not like that big of a deal really, but I'm just wondering if those are gonna come off. So let's see. Yeah, this spray works great. Really looks like those black things are gone. Not gonna be able to tell completely until I rinse it off and maybe dry it. I don't know. What I've seen in detailing videos, another like weird subculture on YouTube, they're, you know, usually when they're doing this kind of cleaning, the upholstery is on the seat, and then you use like a wet dry vac to get the moisture out. And I guess I could do that, but I don't feel like, I just have this one little wet dry vac, and I'm using it in the dry mode right now, and I don't feel like swapping the filter and all that stuff. So I'm just gonna hose this off and then let it air dry. Oh man, there's a lot of dirt coming out of this. Yeah, this looks amazing. Those black marks are gone. All right, got this hung up here on the hot water heater. I'm gonna let it drain here for a bit and then bring it inside where it's a little warmer. The humidity is lower, but it's really soaked right now. It just looks so much better. It looks clean. The black marks are gone. You know, it doesn't look new, and I'm not trying to restore this truck. I'm just trying to get it so that it's not disgusting and you know, so it's usable. But I don't want it, I'm not interested in making it into some perfect thing, because I'm going to be using this truck. So yeah, there's no reason for me to get like new seat upholstery, because this is totally fine. It was just dirty. So it's kind of cool when something turns out better than you thought it would. That drill brush, you know, I thought that would be kind of a gimmick, but I feel like that actually made a difference. So it's kind of cool. I'm gonna let this dry and then start putting stuff back together afterwards. There's one more thing I need to do for the foam base for the seat, and then I think I can put everything back together.